Well, welcome everybody to another live program of Saturday at John's. I don't know what we're going to do today, but it looks like no progress has been made because I've been sanding. I'm trying to get the camera set now.
Need to run the vacuum a little bit.
Okay, I think I got it. There we go. So we got any watchers or anybody interested in this anymore? Okay, we do have a watcher. All right, great. So today, this is going to be the most sanded airplane I've ever done, I think. Gonna have to turn it over and take the cowl off, and I'm going to explain what I did for my wheel skirts or wheel doors and my cowl. Let me take off my shirt. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Okay, my verification code to Cloud Hub. Yeah, I got that. Got that. Okay. John will be back in just a second. Good morning, Chris. See if anybody else said anything. I don't think so. These Saturday at John's are very impromptu. We just kind of do whatever we feel like doing. There's no script, no I don't know, outline or anything for this. We just do whatever. So today, I'm hoping to get this thing in paint next week, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Next week we'll get a coat of white on it so I can start laying out the Dr. Pepper logos that I made up, and do the week's worth of taping for 2 seconds of painting. You might want to mute the sound for a second. John's going to run the vacuum. We got 2 watchers. Let's pull this back a little bit. Let me do that. Can you guys hear us okay? I'm sure you can hear the vacuum. see, I'm still sanding. This is probably going to be the most sanded airplane I've done in a while. I've been sanding on it a month. That's okay. Maybe we can hit that front row spot. But the front row is not the most important thing. The most important thing is light. Presentable and light. You see these primer spots on it. These primer spots are only in areas that I use that green 3M death putty. I call it death putty because it's very heavy. We got 4 watchers. Yep, we can. Yep, can hear you over the vacuum. Okay, Jack, thanks.
Sorry about that.
Let's get an idea of what John's doing down here.
Doing the same thing you were doing, about a week behind you. Going around fixing all these little faux pas.
How much sanding is enough?
Till it's done.
I think Randy Powell said it best. A paint job is never finished, it's only abandoned.
Yeah, that's probably no truer words.
I got the wing tip weight in this thing now too. I'll take the wheel doors off, the covers and the cowl and the wing tip weight box and shoot some primer on them up there.
Yeah. Might have to wait for a little bit. I don't know if she's not letting me paint in the garage yet.
Maybe step outside.
Yeah, that's good. Let it warm up a little. Still pretty early.
Let's see, guys. Got any questions?
These little spots are meticulous as all get out.
John's airplane's going to be the first airplane to fly with my hinges and recep gaps on the trailing edge, so I'm anxious to see how that's going to work. I know it works on the elevator.
Yeah.
You got these swapped around or something? Why is this one's flush, but this one's not? What happened?
It could be. It could be in the wrong spot. I'm not sure.
Won't know till you put it together.
You know, in a rush, I think I just threw them on there and threw in a rush. Technically, they should fit on either side, but
Yeah.
you know how that goes.
And it only takes a couple thousandths off.
I don't even have the paint scraped off the horns, I don't think. So.
Let's turn this a little bit. And get us both in here. But like we said, it's going to be another boring video. Same shit, different day. Sanding, sanding, sanding. Oh, I forgot. I've got to sand the inside of my cowl. I think I put stupid fill on it. I did. A thing of beauty. I need some heavier grit sandpaper than what I brought. Piece of that 80 grit. You know you're ate up when you're super filling the inside of the cow.
Well, he said, you know it's there.
Well, I always say it's got to be finished inside as good as the outside. I also Z-epoxied all my tank area and put the fuel line on it and all that shit. We'll see what it weighs here in a minute. Of course, the pilot's out in the car, but I know what he weighs, 310. Okay. Nice. This cowl had a dent in it right here, so I super filled the inside. That's after Z-epoxy. If you do it before Z-epoxy, it'll just dig a hole. And of course, like John said, it really doesn't matter because the only guy that's ever going to see this is me. And now that I've shown it to the world, you.
Yeah.
Because the judges don't see it, but I know it's there.
Anybody have to be around you when you take it off. That reminds me, I was at, then probably 20 years ago, I was contesting Columbus. And who was that? Bob Pitkin. He's still around. Him and Joanne were there at that contest. And he had some engine run problems or something, and I was standing there and he took his cowling off, set it down on the ground, and I was watching him tinkering with his motor. And I said, do you mind if I look at your cowling? He says, no, go right ahead. And if anybody knew Bob Pitkin, he was a very meticulous builder. And everything had to be light and nice and everything. And I picked this thing up, and it really was made out of about all 1/4 inch wood. Full thickness. But must have had some 1 pound wood or something, because that was one of the lightest cows I've ever felt in my life. I picked that thing up and I said, my God, Bob. I said, where'd you get this wood? He said it was a secret. But it was a beautiful job, and it was finished and painted and everything on the inside just as good as the outside. And it's just a phenomenal job. I just couldn't say enough things about it.
So here's my cowl. Sanded and finished when I paint it, just as good as the outside. These, I don't know whether we've ever shown this or whatever, but you know, if you're an experienced builder, you know about it. You want to line the edges of your cowling with 64th plywood. That makes a nice, sharp, clean edge. Got a piece of, got a bit of fiberglass that lays over on this seam that might. I've shown a couple of cow making videos, how I do it. It's one piece on the outside, one piece in the front, one piece on the bottom, then the outside, and one piece in the back. And I've been mounting my cows this way for 30 years. One screw. All that business. I mean, if you're running a pipe tunnel, you could do 2 screws, where you do 1 on each side in the back to leave this open for the pipe to clear. But it has a piece of arrow shaft push rod lining that hole, so because that's a disaster. There's a piece of 16th aircraft ply on the bottom with a washer on top of it, so you can't pull the 440 screw it and then screw through it. Then it's covered with 64, so it's actually, you know, a bunch of layers of plywood back here where the screw's at, and it detaches. The nose ring up here is 4 sheets of 64th plywood. 60, wait a minute. What makes an 1/8 inch out of 64th? It'd be 2 for a 32nd, 4, 8. 8 sheets of 64th, whatever it takes to make an 1/8 inch of plywood glued together. And the more laminate you have, the stronger it's going to be. Then there's a shish kebab skewer, 1/8 inch stuck through there. You can get them while you're eating Chinese dinner or whatever. And that's how I do it.
I think I found a little piece of carbon fiber rod somewhere. I use a little piece of carbon fiber solid rod for that little post. It doesn't matter what you use. Dowel rod, and a little piece of brass tubing.
So you did your cowl exactly like this one, right?
It's basically the same build up.
Now this is a piped airplane.
Yeah.
How did you attach it in the back? So that the pipe will clear. 2 screws, just like I mentioned there.
1 on each side. I don't know if you can see that. 2 of those blocks, 1 on each side. These will get ground down. I haven't finished the inside of this yet. Still a little rough, but I'll sort of airfoil these a little bit. You don't really need all that wood. Yeah, I gotta check this pipe tunnel. I gotta check the layout with that pipe set at the right length, because this might not be cut out far enough back.
How far back is the end of it?
Probably the same as yours, but I think I got enough room for 19-inch. From what point do you want a measurement? I'm 27 inches on this from the nose ring back.
So
Probably about 23.
let me see the mark on the pipe is going to be probably there, and then
I'm about 20 inches right there to the plug.
yeah, you're fine.
That'd probably be good.
I always try to make. Oh, you got a long ways to go, but you could cut out.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. So I didn't know what kind of motor I was going to end up with it in it and how much the pipe difference is going to be and all that. So
I see another spot there. You can. It goes like this.
I don't know if I want to fill that or not. I have to put a panel line there or something. I'm not shooting for, although this airplane will be really nice, but I'm really not shooting for 20 points per se. 'Cause my state of flying, 20 points doesn't get me too far.
Yeah, you still got to make it as nice as possible.
The guys that are in the top 10 or 15, I'm low hanging fruit on the totem pole.
So am I. 17, 20. But I made the cut.
Yeah.
That's
I only made the cut in by a fluke.
That shirt turned gray already.
Did it really?
Yeah, I washed it with my work pants.
Big mistake. Black pants.
It's about this color right here.
That's all right. A lot of my clothes are grays and blacks and stuff. And Barb says, "Man, you're a dark person." I said, "No, I'm not dark." I said, "Just doesn't shave dirt as easy."
Tom Warden always wore a white t-shirt. And they always look clean.
See, all those guys that do that, I don't see how they do that, because I put on something white, man, it's dirty along the belly right off the bat.
Then they had the years of the ice cream suit.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. White shoes, white pants, white shirt. Pretty amazing. Friendly humor ice cream, man.
I might come out with a Dr. Pepper uniform when I fly this. Look like a giant Dr. Pepper can.
There's a bunch of guys that's done some Whitley, is it Whitley?
Whitney.
Whitney.
Or Whitney.
Did a bunch of stuff like that at Brodax where he dress up as a clown. Or
Oh, I've
something.
seen that.
Something weird and go out there and fart around, take a bislob out there and act drunk and that's pretty cute.
You got a line right here you need to work on. This is where the rudder goes, but there's a second shadow there. Take a couple swipes with the sandpaper.
Thing's definitely got some spots in it.
Spots that I missed. I mean,
Well, beyond, but yeah, I guess you could say you missed them. But I caught them. Which you got a tendency to do when you start going through all this stuff and looking at all the.
yeah, and the thing is you get all them sticks just like mine. I got those sticks that you pointed out, and there'll be another round. There'll be more. You can't get them all.
How long are you gonna chase this stuff?
I think I'm about to hit the end of the road on this myself. I'd like it to be perfect, but there's no such thing.
I see on this wingtip, I'm actually reshaping wood. I'm through the silk span.
Well, I got a couple spots down here that I've done that.
So I'll end up having to either put some super glue on it and try to fill it like that, or actually have to put these silk screen back on, which I don't want to have to do.
Okay, let's go over, I'm gonna go over the wheel pant situation. Hopefully you didn't get glued in here. I think I'll wait until the next day to put them in. Now you can get away with this method that I'm going to talk about here on small areas. Well, you can do it on whole airplanes. I did my Thunderbolt like it, but it is heavier than Japanese tissue. Windy uses the super glue method. While doing this airplane, I had forgot to tissue these. So I put Z-epoxy on them and then wiped them off. We'll sand them up. I'll shoot them with primer today. And because these are small areas, it won't matter. And likewise with my wheel pants. Last time we were over here, I rounded the edges of these pants. This is a 64th with 2 pieces, 1/4 inch wide basswood next to the wire. Then it's filled with 1/8 inch balsa and then a 64 sandwich. And I like doing it like this because it hides the wire. It is heavier than just a piece of 64th, but I think it looks better.
Yeah, Joe Reinhardt did that stuff with 64th inch.
I mean, it didn't work, but
It might even been 2 layers of 64th, and it's glued on each tip.
and then, oh yeah, okay.
And you know, and it looks super thin, super realistic, but I always question how really secure it was. He swore that he never had a problem with them, and I trust Joe.
Now, I've never had a problem with these twisting because the wire comes out of the plywood. But if you have a problem with them twisting, bring the landing gear wire down this way, put a slight bend in it, you know, this way, and then it can't twist. But you better make sure you got that set on a 90.
Yeah.
Because then otherwise the wheel pants, the wheel doors will be off like that or cocked to the left or right. And believe it or not, that can affect the way your airplane flies.
Oh yeah, it'll weather vane. Alright. Let's see what we get back there.
So when I leave here today, because I'm going to prime these to look like plastic. If I could get this good DC 540, you could do that in a half an hour. But seeing that I'm going to be using that other stuff, it'll probably take an hour. Smooth as a baby behind.
I knew that was going to happen. Tubes of this crap. You're supposed to knee them.
What is John's plane? John's plane is a Junar XL. Same as my high roller. And you know, when we say Junar XL, Chris had a Junar XL, Chris Rudd. That is, none of these airplanes are Billies. They're of Billy lineage, hence the name Junar, because I do like the way the Junar looks. But the numbers are different. It is a Junar wing, a Junar, what do they call it? It's a GOXL?
GOXL.
A GOXL wing of sorts. That one there, that wing there is the ones that we showed us cutting the cradles and the thicker trailing edge so that we could recess the hinge line of the flaps. So that's that. And that airplane's going to come out light. What was that? Bare wood, your airplane's an ounce lighter than mine.
Yeah.
But mine will be 3 ounces lighter than yours because I'm not carrying around all the rigmarole.
Yeah, well, you got a Super Tiger 60 and I got a PA 75.
Yeah. Okay, in just a few minutes, I got this sanded out. How I do that Z-Puck, I've shown this a million times. I brush it on and wipe it all off. It's just enough to sear the wood. Just like you would a steak. That way it doesn't pick up a bunch of weight. Cause if I fiberglass these and put 2 coats of Z-Puck, you could probably make these an ounce.
Real quick. Real quick.
The landing gear, no matter what I've done, has been 3 ounces, period.
Yeah.
Wheels, wires, and pants is 3 ounces. Wheels, wires, and doors is 2.5. But wheel pants look a lot better. Let's keep this way. That's grams without that. Eight-tenths. So, and look around for these. These wheels are the Dubro Light Flight. They started out 2.5. We put them on the lathe and we ground them down to 2-inch, and they became pretty light. I think these are around 3 grams a piece. Three-tenths of an ounce. So how many grams? 8 grams a piece. And I think these are lighter, or were the other ones lighter?
Those are lighter than the aluminum rim ones by a little bit.
So let's weigh the whole rigmarole here and see what it weighs.
The aluminum ones look so much better.
I know.
It's almost worth the. Yeah, I think it is worth it.
Yeah, it'll probably get aluminum ones on there. You try to make it as light as possible to start out with, though. So this is just over an ounce, 1.1 ounce for a landing gear. So we got 2.2 ounces on gears and doors. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
My cow, it weighs too much. Nine-tenths. So that's how many grams? 25 grams. I'd rather see it at 14, but it ain't gonna happen. So this is less than an ounce. This is a good good weight. And like I said, the doors and all this. But you know, it comes to think of it, no, because you got these wheel doors and hatches and stuff. If you got one of them Duro gears, they weigh 3 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
So you still got the door and the floor. So really you're losing an ounce by running these like this. I think that's good. I only run one piece of copper tubing coming out of my airplane for the pressure valve. And the vent is just a piece of fuel tubing that sticks out this hole. And then you fill it, and when you're done with it, put the cap back on it and push it back in here. It's kind of a bitch to dig out sometimes, but try to keep everything out of the breeze as much as possible. Keep the extra parts off of it as much as possible. Now, John, he likes to inset copper or aluminum tubing in these areas here. I just drill a hole and put CA on it to harden the wood up. Whatever works. I just try to leave the parts off that I can. You know, the Z-epoxy way is so fast because that's already done. I mean, it was sanded nice before I put the Z-epoxy on.
All right.
Put the Z-epoxy on and a couple of swipes, and that's ready to paint. Can hardly beat that for speed.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that.
That one's ready. We're gonna do real Mexican food again.
Oh, I don't know. We could, I guess. Man, when you're using this green spot putty, do not get it on an open bay.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Do not, whatever you do not.
See this hole here? You think we can plug that? And I don't like the looks of that.
Yeah, that's why I use tubing in those. I use tubing in any hole.
No, it's too big. That one there came off the airplane I crashed at Huntersville. The profile.
Well, take a piece and turn the plug down on the lathe and
Piece of wood.
yeah. You can sand it round enough to chuck into the chuck, and then you can use the lathe part to actually turn the round piece down. I'd say you could line. I line those with aluminum tubing.
I know you do, but I don't want to add any extra weight.
Yeah, and that way when you unbolt them and all that stuff, you don't tear them up as after your plane's all built, you know, it gives them a little.
Those have been hardened up with CA. That one there, I think that came off another airplane that I salvaged out at the field. That's why it looks like that. And that was a whole wingtip weight box that I got off somebody and put it in that profile because I didn't, profile. Who gives a shit about a profile?
You take it out of there and take this bolt out of it and we'll plug it with something. Well, it shouldn't be too hard.
It doesn't look good.
Find something to turn up. How thick is that? About 1/2 inch?
3/8.
Yeah. Chuck.
All I gotta do is put an NC8, what is it? Could be a piece of motor mount.
That's just balsa wood. It'll be in grain. That'll make it a little harder, maybe.
Let's see if anybody said anything. Nope. What is John's plane was the last comment. We got 10 watchers. They like this Saturday at John series.
So that we had much more viewership than Monday and Friday night chat did.
Yeah, these Saturday at John's normally get more viewers than the chat. But Charles been doing a good job on chat.
Well, yeah, he does a good job. He needs to pay attention to the only thing I see, he needs to pay attention to the written comment section a little bit more, because those guys tend to get left out.
Oh man, got lots of wood there.
I haven't done anything to the insides and that stuff.
Get a piece of 80 grit and start grinding.
Like I said, I haven't done anything to the inside of the cow. I haven't done anything to the inside of the whatever apartment. My eyeballs have been off here lately.
9 watchers, 8 thumbs up. Hit that like button, subscribe, share, super chat, all that good stuff. Find a piece of brass tubing in this drawer, or right here. If you find something close to that. There's probably one in there that already is. As long as it stops burning, it should be fine. chuck this up in the drill press.
I'm not round even yet.
Okay, where's the chuck key?
Right in the board on the top, the board on the flat board. Right there.
And closer to Bitney.
I gotta keep turning on this, it's not round yet. Don't make it any bigger, but you gotta do.
Gotta pick it out now. Damn sure don't wanna go through the plywood.
No, what idea is that?
About 3/8. Really?
We'll be right there, right where I turned it, so it's a little heavy right now.
Let's sand it.
There's one balsa wood dowel rod.
What happened to it there? Yeah.
I want to take it out of there until
Test fit it. Make it so it's tight. We have to force it in there and then CA.
it's not that tight.
Huh?
It's not that tight. You cut a little bit off the end of it.
I could fill it, but I would have been nice a little tighter so it kind
Well,
of.
get picky on me now. I shouldn't have sanded it. I should have left it unsanded. Now I can't put the board back on.
Turn it around.
Yeah, I can. Probably, I had to turn it down that small to get the dings out of it.
I mean, this will work, but perfect.
Sand it.
Nope, I'll get it out of the truck.
I don't have a truck down in there all it.
I had to put, force it in there. Okay, what happened here was, I can't get it out. I didn't like the looks of this big hole, so John turned me a balsa dowel. I'm gonna force in there, glue it, and then drill a hole on the drill press this way, and then come back in with the next size hole to the top, so that the screw will fit in there nicely. So let's do this. Flip this real quick.
Low ceiling basement.
Not really exactly. Yeah, see the difference in size? It's only like a couple of
Oh
thousand.
yeah, but I shouldn't have sanded it. 'Cause it was rough like that before. When I sanded, took that little bit off of it. That's all it takes. Machining heat, but you want to press fit.
Not really a press fit.
Sand the final shape. Oh, that's a press fit for balsa wood. Be too tight for steel.
See if anybody said anything yet. Nope, they've got a good view of your back. I'll move this over here.
We probably wouldn't be doing this right now if we'd use primer, but just think about it. We'd had primer over the whole airplane rather than just a little bit of primer in these little spots. So if you think about it, less is more. Go ahead and get to this point and just barely use enough to do what you need.
Oh, that turned out nice.
It's really hard to do these things and not use primer. Really, really hard.
What's really hard is to paint without using paint.
Yeah. Yeah, I must say, that is a tough one.
Okay, so that thing we just did turned into that. I think I went through the Z proxy right there, so I better stop. And now I will drill an 1/8 inch hole down this way, or a hole down, and then the next size up for the screw, and then put some CA on it. I wish Wendy'd come back.
Yeah, Wendy's a good builder. I think the reason why he left was more to meet the eye, more than what people understand why he left.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, and he did it in a very gentlemanly way. He just bowed out. And I'm leaving on to something else.
Okay. That thing was way off center.
Yeah.
Way off center. Okay, so now I need a small piece of brass tube to skive that. Except I don't know whether I want to go that big a hole or not. You might,
I put about a 1/4 inch hole. You don't look back in there for those things. You gotta look in this drawer. That's where all the pre-sharpening stuff is. There's a piece right there. That's about a 1/4. Piece right there even smaller.
I got an 8
An 1/8. You
Just
gotta make
something
it big enough for the head.
right.
Right there is probably about as small as you. Problem is getting that lined up.
Well, I'll get her lined up.
You know, centered over that hole.
Yeah, I gotta sharpen it though, because it ain't sharp.
And here's what I do. I take them and put them,
You got a little notches on it, okay.
yeah, a little saw blade.
Except they're gonna be too long to get in here without moving the table. Yeah. No way.
Well, move the table down right here.
That's good.
You got a mill right there with a milling vise and all that stuff and a chuck on it.
Yeah. Man, you couldn't ask for better. Couldn't ask for better. How's that?
Yeah, it came out nice. Bullhead fit down that.
Oh yeah. You're right, that was the right side. Gotta clean up these holes with that. These are pretty nice, though they're small.
See, what I do is I make mine the size of the washer. And that way I can drop a washer down in there.
The washer's glued on this already.
Well, it's not, yeah, you can do that, but I just make it the size of the washer. I can drop a washer down in them and go on, and I can replace it if I need to.
Must be fine.
I know what this mark is right here.
Yeah, I
I
gotta.
don't think I can do anything with this. I'm pretty sure I can't.
You could hit it with a coat of primer and sand the primer. I mean,
The problem is it's 16th inch wood.
I know, but you use that soft
Yeah.
block and roll it.
It's
You only want to sand that high spot that's white there.
a line right in there. That's right where that sheeting touches the side.
That's better already. I'm sure you're going to put a line there.
Oh, yeah. I saw something where Chris Cox is building another airplane all molded.
He's a good builder.
He's got a wing mold, or maybe it wasn't him. Got a wing mold, and he made a fuselage mold. Just the same way that the poor people have to make it. Fiberglass mold. Yeah, it's about just comes right now.
Yeah, if you got $1 million for the machinery.
Well, that's why he went to a fiberglass mold, because his wing mold was aluminum mold. Guys, you can't be afraid to sand on these things. It's only wood. Damn it. There's 3 dents.
Your finger?
No, with the pointy edge of the elevator. That's a pisser.
Now, Jim, I know you're watching. You're not going to be able to say, hey, what are we going to do about this? Well, you might be able to say it, but there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Well, this one's here, really, how far do you take this stuff?
I think I'm going to do that Australian test with my wood guy.
Yeah.
We'll start out with a small order, 300.
I just can't help but believe you can't get that somewhere their shipping to be a phenomenally high.
Yeah, it's high, but
There got to be a better way. I'm sorry, I don't mean no ill towards the guy in Australia, but it's just you gotta talk cubic dollars.
this hobby is relatively cheap compared to motorcycles and hot rods.
Yeah.
You know, they say 10, 15 bucks for this, that, and the other thing. Even if it's $100, it's ain't nothing compared to Harley's.
Well,
My crankshaft was 1,200 bucks, and you don't even get to see it.
we're about to break out another 1,000. But I say that, but
The camshafts were 300, so there's $1,500 that goes inside the engine that nobody can see,
yeah,
and $1,000 for the head, so that's 2,500. You can see the outside, but that's the outside looks stock.
stunt flares are inherently cheap.
I know.
They just as soon make something as to buy it. Comes out of necessity, it's not necessarily mother of invention. God, I hate to keep adding this shit.
I sure hope this season is better than last season for contests going. Hey, this is the first time we have more likes than viewers. That's good. 10 viewers, 11 likes.
Yeah, what do you do? Have your super X-ray glasses on when you came over here and looked at this thing?
No? Why?
'Cause some of these I don't have a hard time even seeing. I just gotta give you a hard time.
So there's the door. This second one turned out nice. I hit it with some primer.
Yeah.
I think I need to zip.
I think I'd finish up around that washer a little bit on them. You're not gonna see it, but you know it's there. Let's see.
Okay, one more coat of thin CA on this, and we'll call it quits on this part. Well, I'm glad I came over here. If nothing else, today's fix was that.
Yeah, every little bit counts.
I mean, I could have done it over there, but you know what? I probably wouldn't have.
A lot harder. No power tools.
What had happened is I'd have finished the airplane and looked at it and went, oh shit, and had to take this off and refinish it.
It's always a pisser to find it in the end. You wonder, should I go about all that trouble? Should I actually do this?
That looks so much nicer. Well worth it. Well worth it. Yep. Where's that little fingernail file there? It's in the details. See, that's inboard. This is outboard. You gonna run your PA today?
I don't know. I've got that K77 on the bench on the test stand.
I'll run it then. It'll be nice out today.
Still got to mail it to the. You got the little reptile file over there?
Nope. Well, you guys bored to death yet? There's only 8 watchers.
Talking.
Let's see. Do you like Z-epoxy over glass? I do, yes. It works very good.
Yes, epoxy.
This is Z-epoxy over glass. Works very good.
Of course, it's epoxy finishing resin,
Right.
not Z-epoxy epoxy. There is a difference. Clean out the holes a little bit. That's perfect. Something must have moved on me. And I'm gonna have to sand that.
No.
Yeah.
Right, you got
Proud.
Yeah. It shrunk.
Something changed, or this slid in there a little bit, or something when I was fitting them. That's all right. Well, I'm touching all this stuff up. Now's the time to do it. This side fits perfect.
Yeah, like a 32nd of an inch.
Need more paper than that. Where's that little sanding block? I got that long. There was another one here.
This one?
Yeah, this has got a little. Yeah, both of these. This one.
Better stop with that grit.
Yeah, that's 80.
I'll take it off and round it over. Yeah. Nine watchers, 12 likes. That's good. Hour and 21 minutes. Yeah. I don't like this one as well as I like my Jackery. My Jackery's in my foam pad in St. Louis. Yeah. Along with my Pilot, I think.
Where did my sanding tool at?
What are we gonna do about that? Well, we're gonna apply the Harley Davidson 3-foot rule. If you can't see it from 3 foot, it ain't there.
Yeah. You must be seeing things. That TLAR rule, that looks about right. Listen, you can chase this stuff forever and ever and ever. Never, never, never. It still needs a little bit.
When I judged Kaz Magnato's Hellcat, I gave him 19. He said, "Where mistake?" I went, "Right there." I mean, in anybody else's eyes, it'd have been a 20, you know?
Well, there are no really 20 pointers because there's a mistake somewhere. It don't matter how big you are.
But Kaz Magnato's airplane, it was beautiful. I mean, it's pretty close to perfect.
I think they ought to go back to the 40-point thing.
I do too. Well, they want to do away with it. This is that inclusive, everybody gets a trophy crowd.
Yeah. Oh, that's more gooder.
Now, you'd think a year's work should be worth one maneuver's points.
Or more than a year. I used to take upwards 2 years to build an airplane. Of course, I didn't work on it. Like a fanatic. I had a wife and 3 kids.
Well, these are going to end up being 1-year airplanes.
Yeah, in the end. Sure will. Sure will. Might have to do a video on backflipping props.
Yeah, we can do that today.
Saying that.
We'll do that after lunch.
Sounds good. I'll take that 77 out there, and I've done some work on it. I still don't have the right fuel for it. Need to get some all synthetic fuel, which it'll still run. But, castor in it.
Casper oil.
Yeah, it's got just this, it's 50-50. So half synthetic, 11%, and I think 18% is, I think, what they're saying is pretty optimal on it. All synthetic, 18% total oil.
Stupid thing's leaking.
It ain't cause of that custom tip that's on there.
No.
Say, you know, guy.
Yeah, but you see, you made that tip. I can take this little box of stuff right here,
Mold the plastic one.
a bunch of them.
Yeah. See what I did here, guys? These are made these things up. These are pieces of brass tubing cut in half with another piece of brass tubing glued onto it for a little or soldered onto it for a little handle. Put sandpaper on the inside of this, and it's not quite 50% of the tube. When you start sanding, you got to watch when you tip it, or you can cut a groove in the top or the bottom if you twist it around too far. But this will give you a perfect radius. You know, minus there will be a little sharp line that you have to take care of because you can't tip this up enough to get that blended out. But this will give you a nice constant radius depending on what size. These are different sizes of tubing. This is the only two sizes that I've made up. Seem to be the most common, you know, like a half inch and 3/8 I think I used, or half inch and 3/8. I don't make them too long. Just make it a little short. These are about 2 inches long. Just another little sanding tool to use. See, I got those done now. I need to adjust the flaps. I don't know why I shoved these on here without cleaning the paint off of them.
I hear peep peep.
Tweety bird. I saw a guy build a Nobler. I think it was a Nobler, if I remember right. Pretty nice looking airplane. Did a really good job of cutting out around the cylinder head of the motor and making a nice intake. But he had no exit holes in it. And I was just wondering how he expects the air to get out of that area without any exit holes.
You mentioned it to him?
No, I didn't. I was in sort of a hurry and I didn't have time to.
Is it on Facebook?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Mark Levin's off Facebook.
Picked him up, didn't he?
No. Took him off. He's off Twitter too. He's posting on Parler.
Oh.
Pretty good site. So is not BitChute. There's another YouTube like platform that's better. Clout Hub. Yeah, I think I'm about to the end of my rope here with sanding.
Yeah. It will grate on you.
Time to start painting.
Definitely grate on your nerves. I mean, Wendy can say it's therapeutic all he wants, but it is work. Tedious work. And I guess if you keep that attitude that is therapeutic, then I guess that's a good thing.
This airplane needs about 10 more coats.
Yeah, right.
That'd be 5 ounces or more.
Or more.
Stupid thing's still leaking. Guess it's time for a new coil.
Yeah.
I make the holes bigger because I epoxy them on. You
I
do.
do too. This is like 2 sizes up.
$14 thumbs up, 14 watchers. Like, subscribe, share, super chats help. This is just a casual day at John's. You know, I had to order some more. I got the smooth on stuff here. I had to order some more plastic. Castable, flexible foam.
Need to
They're making their own tires. How cool is that? But you know, this shit's expensive.
Oh yeah. $50 for, might be $60 now for one of them little test packages. That's a test size.
See that thing right there? I bet it's $100 mold
Oh yeah.
or better.
Yeah. But one thing about them, man, they make so many different kinds. It's amazing how many.
This is I'm not sponsored by Smooth On, but this is a plug for Smooth On Casting. This is what I use to make spinners and other little plastic parts. Mold Max 30. It's a flexible rubber, silicone rubber.
Man, wow.
It mixes 100 to 10, so it's Mold Max 30 by weight. So you mix 100A and 10B, or 50A and 5B. It says make sure to drink this because it's harmful and fatal if you swallow it. So make sure to drink it.
I drink plenty of it. Do the job right. If you're gonna do it right.
Absolutely.
Why does this go down in there so hard? Slip right on there. It's easier, but it's still that last little bit. You play hell trying to pull that back off there again. I don't know why. 1/8 inch hole. We'll play around with it.
Get out the body grinder.
I might have a little burr on the end of that wire. I might have to file off of it. Pretty good.
Yeah, there's a rarity. 14 likes and 11 watchers. That's we're going up.
All right. Like that.
We'll stop this at 2 hours, so we got about another 13 minutes to run. I guess we're going to go to lunch.
Yeah, what time is it?
I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. I got to watch over here. 11:07.
This thing looks right now, it looks like it's 1/4 inch too long. I know I fit all these things.
Oh, you got a thing broke out there like I did.
What?
You got a groove.
Oh, lead out guy deal?
Yeah.
The problem with them things, you got to make them look all like the worst one.
Yeah, but they are the lightest way to go.
Yeah, I still prefer the sliders myself, but everybody gets their own way to do things. Easier way, where's it locked up?
There's kind of a burr on that. You look what I take a Dremel tool and
I don't know why it's not done like that, because I normally do that as soon as I cut them off. I double them,
right.
and for some reason I missed that or whatever. We'll get it done in the end. It'll get finished.
Well, that's a nice tail wheel.
Isn't it? Didn't know somebody that does that? Or where'd you buy that at?
Yeah. I wish that came out better. Not that it matters, but I think I'll work on that a little bit. I don't know whether I show this on camera or not at any time, but see the little wheel John made me? weighs 1 gram. Need to change the tires. Yeah. Oh, I was working on the hole. That's what it was. The hole didn't come out very good. Better. One more size bigger, 2 more bigger. Should do it. Yep, that looks better. Sticking.
Even after all this work, it still won't be a 20 point.
Nope, it won't. Neither will mine.
Well, what it will be is an airplane that I like.
Gonna have to get in touch with Jim Lynch and see what contest he's going to, and we're gonna have to show up at a couple of those. I mean, he's really one of the only guys that I trust on opinion to finish. Him and Charlie.
Didn't know your stuff.
Huh?
There's a few guys out there that know what they're doing.
Well, I'm talking about close. Phil Granderson knows what he's doing, but he's across the country.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of Phil Granderson work out there.
Yeah.
Another guy that really knows how to finish, but I haven't seen him in 25 years, maybe 30 years. A guy named Gerald Champ.
Yeah. Remember that name?
Of course, I guess for the type of finishing we do, we need to go up to Cleveland. Did you see that yellow airplane that was 30 years old? Cleveland?
Next Cleveland? Yeah, I did.
Man,
It
that
was a pretty airplane. Must not got flown much.
Billy said they flew the crap out of it.
Really? Yeah.
They cut into it a bunch.
See, those guys aren't afraid to do that stuff. You need to change some. You need to tweak some. You do whatever it takes. There.
Man, this thing is tough to get in. Gotta come up. Thing here is not something you want to have to change very often.
Oh, yeah, it's in that little pocket.
How the hell did I get it in there the last time?
Pair of tweezers, pair of red clips, hemostats. A little bit pair of hemostats here.
I got the pliers right here.
A little bit smaller.
Doesn't seem to fit now for some reason. I just took it out of there. definitely aggravating. There it is. God. It fits with super precision, like a couple of thousandths is all.
Been happy we made that for not having any washers in it, right?
Oh, yeah. Remind me, before we go fly, to put a little blue Loctite on the thread of this, though. It has to come off the painting. Because you can't tighten it up all the way, it smashes in there. It needs a floating axle in it, so you can tighten it up all the way.
Yeah, shoulder bolt.
Yeah. It would have to be super precision. Just a brass tube inside there.
Yeah, I'm running a 256 or whatever it is, bolt through the center of it.
Right.
Drill it for a bigger axle all the way through everything.
Right, and then just make it, maybe a thousandth or two wider than the hub.
That'll work.
More weight.
I pushed a lot of my wheels, a lot of my plastic wheels. I pushed them with aluminum or brass tubing, and they end up rolling better and they don't wobble, and you lose some of that noise in your landing gear. We've got a guy in our club that's got he must have the noisiest landing gear that there is, and the guy's a good pilot, but I think, I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. You might lose a few points for the noise. Noisy landing, maybe subconsciously. Probably not something that they can literally downscore you on.
Yeah, well, they can find anything.
But I certainly feel like if your airplane's noisy on landing, then they're going to take neck to that.
Let's see how much time we got on this here. I think we got 2 hours on it. Yep, 2:01. Thank you, Chris. Also, I can't even. Rocky. How many guys, you guys want us to just let this run? I mean, it's been on 2 hours. It's kind of boring, but.
Not really doing much.
We're going to come back after lunch, and we are going to do a backflip, how to backflip an engine properly. Now, after watching this video of us tinkering, just think after the finish, there'll be 100 hours of
More sanding.
more sanding. After the paint's on it, there'll be at least 100 hours of sanding.
and learn how to like it.
Hey, there's Charles. Beats the raking leaves.
Did that the other day. Cut the grass, rake the leaves. Gotta blow out the eave troughs next. And maybe we'll go down there and have some of that Aztec food today. Stuff's pretty good.
Yeah.
Beats Taco Bell to hell in a handbasket.
I like my steak picado. That was good.
Was it?
Yep, real good. So we got 4 shorts. That's the long. Put this back in here. Put this back on. Set it up on its wheels. Charles, your airplane should be done. I've been standing on this one for 3 months.
Are you still building a Strega?
Yeah. Lumber wagon.
Well, if you like the airplane, I guess you could do some stuff to that thing to make it a lot lighter.
Yeah, leave out half the wood.
That helps.
Oh.
It's some really good quality wood.
I dropped out my half ounce of chip weight.
There's more I can do that.
Let's see. I know this guy's Russian, Otov Shivoniks, right? And there's Rocky. We sure appreciate you guys being subscribers and moderators. Both hard at it. I'm just finished my basement and back to the lumberyard. Hopefully I can't hardly read it through the. I need to turn this around. Okay, I'm gonna be jostling the camera for a second, but try not to move it too much. Need to turn it so I can. All right. Okay. Remember the guy who was doing the Russian guy who was, well, I think it's Christopher. He met us in Cleveland.
Yeah, we're doing
coming over.
one.
Yeah, but they're coming over from RC.
Yeah,
I think it was the older guy.
that was the father.
I think so. Okay, I can now see the chat. I've turned the stupid thing around. Len Burrell says, "Hey guys, good to see you're both hard at it. I'm just finishing my basement, then it's back to the lumber wagons. Hopefully in 2 weeks." And then Christopher Everson says, "I met you in Cleveland contest this past year. I'm just learning to fly control line from RC airplanes." Great. That was good to meet you and everybody else in Cleveland. This is my replacement model for the Nats this year. Next, yeah, this, no, it ain't 21 yet. For 21, I'm not sure. Did this start in 19? No.
The start.
All the time just seems to run together. I don't know how many hours I got standing on this, but it's a lot. I got more hours standing than I do building.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry. 11:30.
Only 11:30.
Yeah. Gonna have some Buenos nachos today.
Argentinian food. Aztec.
It's hard to believe that these two airplanes are basically the same airplane. They look nothing alike. Solder those or epoxy?
I don't use any solder on my leads. Stainless steel doesn't solder the best in the world anyway.
I don't solder them.
It's not AMA legal. Also noticed that somebody online, and I think it was Doran on Friday Night Chat. Sorry, Doran, but let's break your bubble here. But you showed using Kevlar lines in your handles and for lead outs, and I'm not so sure that that's AMA legal right now by the real book. I think it states that there's all control parts still have to be steel, stainless steel cable, and until the rule gets changed, which it's in the process, they're trying to change it to get Kevlar lines approved. But that's lines. That doesn't necessarily mean, you know, a few years ago, I think the Russians came over here and they had Kevlar lines in their handles, and they had to change handles. I think they made them change handles.
What's the deal with Kevlar? Why does everybody like them?
Well, it's lightweight, and you don't get any spring where your wire goes through your handle and comes up. You end up with a loop on the back side of the bar, and then, you know, a lot of times the lines will be splayed out like that, and under tension they go out like that, but it makes your handle springy. So the Kevlar just drapes. It just loops real nice and smooth. There's no flex to it.
Are those Spectra lines, are they Kevlar? Or is that fishing wire?
Well, that fishing line isn't Kevlar. That's some polymer, or I don't know exactly what it is.
They like it because they can wad it up?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's more abrasion resistant than cable. Steel cable is. And it's very flexible, but I can't say. Maybe you can get away with a smaller diameter. Maybe. Remember the old Kevlar lines of old Sullivan put out years ago that, shoot, they were so draggy you couldn't fly with them. You know, so nobody used them. That when they were like a lead balloon.
So why don't we just fly on Dacron?
Well, technically, the rules should almost state that anything that will sustain the pull test should be legal.
Yeah.
Which I don't see anything wrong with that. If you could do the pull test for the weight of your airplane, then fine. Use 12,000 line on a 60 size airplane if you really want to. I don't know that I'd go that far and trust it, but I'm sure there's people that would.
You know, these guys must really have some super feel. They say, well, you can feel them stretch. I have never felt any line stretch.
I don't know that you feel a stretch, but you'll feel a springiness. You know, that's why you pick up and you fly back-to-back flights, one with a hard point handle and one with a cable handle.
Right.
And you'll see a hard point handle is much more solid.
Yeah.
And it's all because of the cable factor that's in there. So I'm sure, you know, there's pros and cons to all this stuff.
Yeah, I'll stick with my CAS handle. Someday I'll be getting it. They're rowing very slowly from China. That'll be my third one. Or fourth one.
And use whatever you like. I like the hard points. The only problem with hard points is they're hard to adjust initially. And once you get them adjusted, they're great.
And I'm glad we did this. Plug is nice. Much more better. Let's see what you got to say. Anything, guys? Nope. So which is harder, RC airplanes or control line airplanes? Christopher? You got 400 foot to make a mistake with an RC airplane. You got 5 foot to make a mistake with an RC.
Yeah, you got a hundredth of a second right from the crash and then get them out.
One brain fart and it's done. Your year's worth of work is kindling.
And if you're building them to fly and not to show, they will turn into a bottle of kindling. Damn, those things. Why did I get those tips? Where'd that come from?
Comes from the sucking down of the 16th. That's why I don't like using 16th.
Yeah, I know.
You can look right at it and see, you know, here's a rib, here's a rib, here's a rib, here's a rib.
Yeah, I know, and I didn't use that foam backer on this plane either.
That's a trick way to stop that.
I should have done that. Heck, I could have gone down to 32nd inch wood. They had no sanding rim, no sanding errors whatsoever. It better be right.
This right here is caused from the wood, and see the dope softens it up, and as it sucks down.
Pressured both tips that are right there in the same spot. And it's noticeable. I mean, you see it.
This is 3/32 wood, and you still can see it slightly, but
That starved horse look, as they call it. We didn't do either one of these with the final looking naps like we were going to do. Instead, we went for the absolute minimum weight. What's this? This airplane is really built out of 16th inch wood. The fuselage is made out of 3/32.
Yeah, my airplane's all 3/32, except the doublers are anything.
I think I doubled up fuselage up here with 1/8" blue carbon fiber veil in between the two pieces.
Yeah, your building techniques on that one are the same as that I use, you know. You can't get any lighter.
No, I skinnied up the cap strips, shrunk the trailing edge sheeting instead of 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches wide back here and make it 3/4 to 1 inch. I think I moved it.
This is still wider than mine, isn't it?
Yeah, about the same. They're about the same. They might even be narrower than yours.
Your code is 3/16.
That's because of that trailing edge piece.
Mine's 1.125. Which,
See, it appears longer back here because I gotta account for this overhang for this pocket.
right? Actually, it's 1 inch. So this square here was 3/4, and then I capped it with 1/4. Odd, because it's 1.116 there, and 1 inch here. Must be where I sanded it. Yeah. Well, no, it's 1.116 there too. It's hard to see.
It starts getting blended in. You can't tell the real true edge. Now, hopefully this thing won't have a lot more after this singing down. I don't. Inside the cow, I know, inside the cow, inside the motor. The cow, I don't even know where my cow is at. This isn't the airplane that we built, Cowlings that fit each other, is it?
Not these two, my other one. Okay, I flew gliders. Let's see what he says here. Okay, good luck, Len. And Christopher says, I flew gliders, and if you didn't set up your landing, you had to walk a long ways. Control line is much harder to learn, but I really enjoy it. I just rekitted my lightning streak 3 weeks ago in Cleveland. Yeah.
Aye. I never.
You'll rekit a few. Luck that could be a pretty tight fit.
I gotta sand a little bit of paint on there. It is a tiny bit tight in as it won't move.
I have to sand the back of the nose ring. You didn't leave for any paint.
You tell me how much you're supposed to leave.
About 30 seconds.
Yeah.
This is dried me fruit.
You leave a 30-second and then you end up.
I always just make an imaginary line for these engine bearers straight out and leave that extra in there and then hollow this all off. So it's Oh, I see a spot in the cow. Right there.
Shut up. Sides.
I don't know why you have that problem. I don't have that problem. You glass the nose and you glass the cow. And this is not perfect, but it's like, you know, maybe 2,000, not real big. Is that you speaking?
I think so. Yeah. Do a little work to it.
I think that it's binding on here. Let's see this part. Shouldn't be, though.
It's too long. Take some off the back. Take some off these edges right here.
Yeah.
Where's that? Oh, yeah. See, this hasn't even been finished. I painted it just because I was painting.
Now, if you wanted it to really fit good, you could bolt that on and then sand this edge off, and then we finish this right here.
Okay?
But see, the thinner that you get this, the more it does that.
I know, that's why I left it full thickness.
See, I don't think it's where you think it is. I think it's right here. You look right here, you can see it bind
Yeah,
further.
I'm tight on this side. I got a little bit of gap on that side.
Okay.
I don't have zero on this side.
It's only wood.
Take a little bit off that too, because this is 64th plywood on here. I don't have a lot of sanding. Starting to get there.
What did your Pennzoil plane end up weighing?
64 ounces, I think, 62, 64.
This one here, I didn't even do the super fill trick. It came out good enough that I didn't think it needed it.
Super cool trick. Oh, on the cow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does work.
I just didn't think it needed it. The fit was good enough because I did it. I think I did this airplane your way.
Did you?
I put it all together and sanded it. Finally volume. Okay, great. Mark Lumen says, "Hi guys, still in Nigeria and the African elections are very slow. No volume." Well, I don't think Nigeria is South Africa.
That goes down in there now. A little.
Of course, I don't know. I didn't study the South African continent. We've been on 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I think this is gonna take a little bit of redoing. And now's the time you do it. Now is the time you do it. And this fold shut.
Yeah, I think if we're going to do a super nice finish, you got to use primer. But you're going to give it up on the weight.
Yeah, 70 ounces.
Yep.
Can't knock these finishes what they are, because they're pretty good for not having any primer in them.
$12. Let's do lunch. Let's start. Well, guys, I think we're going to end it up here. We're going to go to lunch. When we come back, we're going to do a backflip video on how to properly do backflip an engine. I was at my local hobby shop, purchased about $100 worth of balsa. The kid behind the counter didn't think but he still built airplanes. Yeah, that's the way it is.
Afraid so.
I hope you weighed all that wood and you got good wood and not just RC wood.
Yeah, and they say control line. What's control line? Well, I thought they quit doing that stuff back in the 50s.
You mean the ones on strings?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hungry too.
Okay, guys, we're gonna kill the feed. We'll see you after lunch. Promise we'll come back after lunch and do a backflip video. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.